Hello, Michael. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you. Yourself?
Beautiful. I'm doing quite fine, and thank you so very much for being here. And you see, Michael, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things, and I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Michael, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invested in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. See, some couple of months back, Michael, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Michael, just recently, I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree, you see. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, like I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Michael that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your insights, your philosophy, the impact your work is having, how you're offering your solutions. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, Michael, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Michael is doing, and not only me now, but even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Michael. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man.
Thank you. Beautiful work.
Yes, my man. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Michael, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, my man, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Michael on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, my man, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, my man, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, Michael, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Michael got here. Then, afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Michael, over to you.
Yeah. Well, my journey's been an interesting one. I grew up in a very small town in the southern part of Oregon, and I was an athlete, and took me to college in Southern California first as a collegiate baseball player, and finished my career at UC Davis, and was able to get a really nice education there with the emphasis in kind of sports psychology, performance enhancement. I thought that highest honors that I achieved there at UC Davis was going to write my ticket. Not so much. Came back home and floundered for a bit. And long story short, I fell into the mortgage industry of all things. As a baseball player, we like numbers. We count everything and pay attention to those. And so I was always a good communicator and good with people. and had a deep desire to make a difference with people. And so the mortgage industry, without unbeknownst to me, ended up being just a wonderful fit. So I've been doing it for almost 20 years now. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's been one definitely with a lot of um, hardship and personal life, and um, just a lot of growth overall. I have the blessing of seeing basically everybody's personal life as far as their finances and credit and all the things. I get to see all of it, and so I get to see the good, bad, and the ugly. And through that, I've taken great pride in my fiduciary responsibility to guide people and to learn and be the best version of myself I could be through that, and then in turn, um, you know, train people, teach people the best I can, because let's be honest, we are not taught
So
finances
true.
at all. So that's become my kind of my mission, and my mission field is um, through mortgage. I end up counseling people more than I do anything else. It's very interesting, the psychological barriers and stuff that people have because of the way they grew up or their lack of education or whatever it is through finances. So it's been very fun, and it really, finances. There's a reason why the Bible talks so much about money. Money can be very dangerous, but it can also be a huge
So
blessing.
true.
And so when used appropriately, we can do some pretty amazing things. And when approached correctly, we can gain freedom instead of bondage. And I think yeah, we especially as of recently, I've just my eyes have been open to the lack of questions we ask, and we just assume things, and that what we've been told is correct, and that is it's pretty dangerous, to be honest. And then we wonder why we're still in the place that we've been and struggling. So I think God has more planned for us, and so that's my mission, is to change that and educate through education.
Hmm.
So
And that's a beautiful way you're doing, Michael, because I tell you, a lot of people are suffering from that. And the fact that you have dedicated your time to train and teach people these things, it's amazing. And there was this particular question that I'm so curious about. And my curiosity led me to ask a banker this question, but she refused to give me a clear answer. But I assume maybe she doesn't know. So the question is, why do banks love 30-year mortgages?
well, I think that's a really that's the question. One of the questions that I've been asking myself, or more importantly, why have we not questioned
Yeah.
the 30-year? So a lot of people don't realize that the 30-year mortgage, or specifically the FHA mortgage, was introduced to our country in I believe it was 1934, 1930s, let's say, and the so 30-year fixed mortgage, amortized mortgage, and yet if we think about it, the structure of the 30-year or termed amortized mortgages has really never changed. And yet, why do we not question this? So your question in regards to, you know, the banks and the 30-year, well, we've been trained to chase interest rates. And that is the very first question that anybody asks me is, what's your rate? Because we know that is the one thing, or we've been taught anyways, that's the one thing that can control our fate, or how much we're going to pay on a mortgage, other than the term, right? How much time it takes. The 30-year is what most of us choose because, well, shoot, the 15-year or a shorter term is a really big payment, as if the 30-year wasn't big enough as it is these days. So that payment is daunting, and so we chase a rate around, and on average, every 3 to 7 years, we're choosing a new rate, refinancing, paying the fees, resetting back out to 30 years. And the reality is the first 5 years of a 30-year mortgage is pretty much all interest. So if we're on a 3 to 7 year span and we reset back to 30 years, what are we doing? We're on a merry-go-round that keeps going around and around and around, and yet none of us question it. And I didn't either. I've been an active participant in helping people refi and everything else. Yeah, so the banks win. The banks win big time. It's between closing costs and interest paid. And the average age of an American with a mortgage these days, I believe, is 54 years old, 58 or 54. 26 years left on their mortgage. 26 years. Why? Well, if you remember, about 4 years ago, everybody got 2 and 3% interest rates. So now they're stuck, or they think they're stuck. They feel they're stuck because, oh my gosh, I don't want to do anything to get rid of this magical interest rate. I'll never be able to get it again. More bondage, in my opinion. Anyway,
Wow, that's so true, and this is very, very sad. Oh boy. Okay, there's this other one also. So, what is the all-in-one loan, and how is it different from a 30-year mortgage? Got it?
yeah, yep. I was with a company for pretty much my entire career, and last November, in 2024, I made a move to CMG Home Loans. And as you can imagine, you know, working for one company for so long and then changing to a new company, it was pretty overwhelming. So once I got through that part, I decided, hey, I'm going to dig into proprietary product. What can we do that nobody else can do? And the all-in-one was one of those. As I dug into it, I realized that this is going to be my focus. This is how I can literally change people's lives. So it's a loan that exponentially speeds up the amount of time it takes to pay off your mortgage. At the same time, it allows us access to our hard-earned equity that we've gained through the pay down of our mortgage. And so therefore we now have control over our mortgage, our house, the one huge asset that we've never had control over. It's wild. It's completely different than anything I had ever been a part of, and it is very difficult to break the psyche of people because it's all the bad words that we've been taught are bad words. It's adjustable. It's interest only. It's all these things that people are like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. And it's really forced me to research, and it's forced me to question my own psyche in regards to who told me that that was bad and why is it bad and what is the history of why that is bad, and who says the alternative is the answer. You talked about comfort earlier. We choose comfort. We've chosen comfort in a 30-year fixed. If you look at indexes, which adjustable rate mortgages are often tied to, they have produced far better than a 30-year mortgage has produced, and people don't realize this. I didn't realize it prior to my understanding of the all-in-one and starting to educate people on it and originate the home loan. I had done 2 adjustable rate mortgages in my entire career, 2, and I've been a top producer for a long time. So I had the same understanding. So this loan is the only principally first loan, principally first paid loan in America. You literally are paying principal first and interest second. It's very
Hmm.
involved. So
Wow. Wow, I never knew that. Okay, so how can entrepreneurs or high income earners, how can they, use the AI whole loan?
yeah, good question. So this loan is suited for just that. Your discipline. I would say high discretionary income doesn't necessarily have to be high income earners. Certainly, that fits best. But anybody who has discretionary income, in other words, money left over at the end of the month that they're not spending and or have a choice on whether or not they're investing it. Okay, so that money is so the loan is a checking account that's fully integrated with a line of credit that becomes your mortgage. So what happens is every dollar you deposit into your checking account immediately is applied to your principal, which is wild. So, and that's what hung me up at first. Because I have been such in a mindset of, well, I'm a commission paid employee, so if I sink my income into my principal, I'm not going to do that. What if I need it? I need access to it. I need liquidity. And then the light bulb went off, and I realized it's a line of credit. So every penny I put into this, I have full access to. And that is a game changer. So also, as soon as you put money into this mortgage, it immediately applies to your principal. And where it gets really fun is that night at 9 p.m., interest is calculated based upon that balance and swept away. And we start again the next day. And that happens each day for 30 days. And then 21 days after that, we look back on the 30 days, we add up each of those individual calculations based upon a balance you drove down, okay? And that is your interest only payment made on the 21st of that month. And so your line of credit goes up just a little bit, deposits come in, drive it back down, calculations are made, and we just snowball pay off our mortgage
Interesting.
while still having access to it.
Wow, that's interesting. I got that. Okay, so back to the banks. I think to be able to win the banks, one needs to think like the banks. So how can one think like the bank or like a bank and win like a boss? You get the question?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, there's a couple different people that try to use this strategy, and there's a lot of different ways. There's uh, a concept called velocity lending that people are basically doing the same thing that the all-in-one is doing, but manually through a line of credit, feeding it, interest calculated daily, so on and so forth. And then, so as you're driving a balance down, you're gaining access to all this equity. Okay. So there's two sets of types of people. There's the type of people that just want to get out of debt. And then there's the type of people that want to not only get out of debt, but want to leverage debt to gain more assets. And that's me personally. So I did this loan myself. So I practice what I preach. Refinanced my primary residence, which, by the way, was at 3.625 on a 30-year fixed. Most people would go, "Why would you do that?" And good and well, I did not get even close to 3.625 in this market. Okay, so why did I do that? Number one, because of the ability to pay it down, but more importantly for me, the ability to leverage equity. So now I have access to 80% of the value of my home plus everything that I'm putting down. So now I can leverage against that to purchase another investment property, which in turn is going to feed. And so my plan and how to answer your question. So I'm going to use another all-in-one loan to purchase an investment property. My investment rental income will feed that all-in-one, and my income from my everyday work feeds my primary residence. So I have two that are working for me, drawing down, gaining me further access to leverage to buy more properties or invest more, do whatever it is that my goals are. And so that's how I think you think like a bank. I'm using leverage against my hard earned assets and income to further grow my net worth and ultimately legacy for my family in the future.
Ah, now I see why you're so good at what you do. That's a smart one. Thank you for sharing that. I got that. So finally, okay,
Thank you.
yeah, my man. What advice do you have for someone or people who are currently stuck in their mortgage?
Yeah. Um, try to find a trained professional that is looking out for you versus looking out for themselves, and is willing to educate you, is willing to take the time to find the best tool. Because again, this loan is not going to be the best tool for everybody. Some people, a lot of people, maybe even most people, they need a 30-year mortgage just to even get in the game. But the game is wonderful. The real estate game is wonderful. It really, I couldn't do it if I didn't believe in it. wholeheartedly. So again, just somebody that's willing to invest, somebody that is highly recommended and isn't just there to earn a buck. That's going to do the best for you and your unique set of circumstances. And if it's a 30-year to begin with, and you have a goal to be a real estate investor, to build that plan with you, so that moving forward you can start down that path, and you have a guide to help you through that and to achieve your goals.
Beautiful, and I got that. So, for folks who would like to reach out to you, Michael, learn more about the beautiful stuff you're doing, or hop on your services or programs, how can that be possible?
Yeah, so my team and I can be reached, via phone at 541-227-2727. Easy number to remember. And again, you can Google me, Michael Newman at CMG Home Loans, and check out my website. Lots of good information.
Beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing those powerful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you're doing, and I appreciate the opportunity.